Yes. All week she's been saying, he's going to be there. It's Saturday. That's awesome. So Fear and Sunshine. Tell me about Fear and Sunshine.
Fear and Sunshine is a story about a little hippie girl that finds out she's the heiress to the greatest monster-making dynasty there ever was and has to go off and learn mad science.
Excellent. Yeah, I know. I love everything about that. And you do the illustration on it, too.
Yep. Yeah, I do all the artwork inside the book and for the covers.
Yeah, it's really great. It reminds me, I don't know if you're going to like me saying this, but it reminds me when I look at some of the artwork and just, obviously it's a step up, but it reminds me of zines. It reminds me of when we did it ourselves and we would do the illustrations and have the writing on it. Like I look through this and it's like a book version of a zine, and I love that.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Now, what's your inspiration on this?
It started with a drawing I was doing at school for graphic design of a girl with some cartoon monsters, and eventually the characters started. I wanted to do more with it. I wanted to see what I could do, and I had a friend who had a little daughter, and this kid was clearly on the way to Woodstock, so I thought, hey, I can match that up with this teenager girl that I have with monsters. That'd be funny. So put those together.
Is this her?
Not really. Just the hippie part of it is inspired by her for sure. And it started with, I was just doing little coloring book things. They were like 4 or 5 page coloring books, and it was very Dora the Explorer.
Okay.
And then I just wanted to figure out why this character is in this world, and that's how the books came to be.
And how many books are in this series right now?
There are 3 so far. Have a new one at the editor right at the moment. So started doing artwork for that today, and it'll hopefully be out by Halloween.
Cool.
So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Pretty quick turnaround on that.
Yeah. So, self-publishing, you don't need to wait for nothing.
Right. Now, are you doing that through like that Amazon program?
Yep.
I don't know if you guys, if anybody out here is an aspiring writer, but we had Jacqueline Lewis here a couple weeks ago. She did the same thing. She wrote a science fiction novel, did it through Amazon. I mean, the quality on these is amazing.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. What a great thing. So if you want to self-publish, highly recommended?
Yeah, definitely. You can pretty much do everything through them. You have to create the book itself, but as far as printing and distribution,
they won't write it and illustrate it for you?
They won't.
That would be awesome.
They won't write the stories. You can't just throw hippie girl monsters. Here you go, Amazon, roll with it.
Because, I could just spit out ideas all day and just, man, it'd be awesome.
That would be
Stephen King would look like a piker. It'd be awesome. So this guy on the cover, is that Fear?
That is Fear.
And Fear is the big baddie in your series?
Yep. He is one of the monster creations of Sunshine's biological father. She is the 6th generation of, they're basically monster warmongers. They make monsters for, like, if Dracula needed minions or something, they would Henry Ford business.
They would just like
monsters for him.
Yeah.
Fear was a specialty creation, and it got out of hand.
Now, does that mean that there are more Fears, or is it just
no?
one
He's
Fear?
a one of a kind.
He's a one-off. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there other monsters in this universe that are like she's encountering that are from this industrial line of monsters?
Not too many that are her family's products.
Okay.
But
there are others out there.
Yeah. Most of them are just monsters that live in this world, and some of them used to work with her parents, so she gets little bits of stories of the generations before her from different monsters or characters from the world.
It's fantastic. I love everything about this. It's so cool. So for this type of, we're going to talk, you've got 2 things going on. You've got illustration and you've got writing. I want to talk about illustration first.
Definitely.
Who lights you up? Who inspires you? We all have our people that we're like, oh my gosh, he's the best or she's the greatest.
Yeah, Kelvin and Hobbes was a big influence. So was Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah. I love that growing up. And Toriyama, I think that's his name for Dragon Ball. He did the artwork for the Chrono Trigger games. And when I was a kid, I was playing Super Nintendo and had the little instruction manual just to see if I could draw Chrono. I remember
that had really good artwork too.
Yeah, it was awesome. And just drawing those characters, it was pretty much copying, but it's like, look at this cool thing I did. And then take that and start learning how to actually draw yourself and then meet in the middle somewhere.
That's so cool. We interviewed Rene Castellino. Is that how we say his name? I get everybody's name wrong. He illustrates Red and the Wolf. What is that one called, Molly? Tales of the Wolfman.
Okay, I met him recently at a show.
First thing out of his mouth was Calvin and Hobbes also.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like that's a big inspiration point, especially for people that want to do kind of this, I don't want to say kids books, but they are. But this is appropriate. This is fun for us as adults.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good imagination-fueled stories.
Yeah. So, okay, so these were kind of the people that lit you up, and you drew a lot based on this. Who is it now? Who do you look at and you say, wow, this guy just is the greatest?
Right now, it's probably more writers because I've been going into that world.
All right, then we go to that question.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in indie publishing. Sean Platt and Johnny B. Truant and David Wright. They run the self-publishing podcast. So if you want to get into it, go there and learn stuff.
Is that the name of the self-publishing podcast?
Yeah.
All right, there's a tip.
They're great, and it's so cool because you're watching their whole process of creating the books and everything, and then you read their books, and they're awesome stories.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the few things I make time to read. It's all audiobooks because I'm working around the Empire running, so
sure.
Yeah, squeeze those in while I'm slacking off at work.
You know what? Hopefully nobody's listening right now. So no, hopefully people are listening, just not them.
Yeah. Well, another cool thing with the self-publishing podcast guys, because I am sort of in the indie publishing scene and I do all the artwork and everything, to work with them, and I'm doing 12 books for their children's book series line between like now and the middle of next year, I suppose. So I'm going to be doing the artwork just like I do for my own books, but for their books. So
oh, really cool.
Teaming up.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What other authors? Who inspires you? So let's not say who's lighting you up right now, but like, who are your inspirations? Is it classical? It's
mostly TV. It's for authors. A lot of the classic stuff. I love Frankenstein. But honestly, I get most of my story inspiration from television. So stuff like Lost or Supernatural was big for a while. I've kind of fallen off because
we've had a few Supernatural fans in this audience tonight.
Good deal. If you're going to the show next month, I will be there selling books.
All right. Plug, right?
Yeah. Trying to think of more TV. Even sitcoms are good inspiration. So yeah, Doctor Who. Yeah.
Doctor Who. All right. You don't have to say that because you're in the room. But understood.
Yeah. I love some monsters of the week. So
are you a big monster guy? Is that like, were you always like way into the Universal monsters, or
not way into it? It was when I was a kid, my dad would always buy the full moon movies like Puppet Master, and I grew up on Trancers, so nice. I loved cheesy.
Tim
cheesy
Thomerson
monsters.
was in Trancers.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, I have, what is it, Doll Man sitting in my Amazon wish list for the past 3 months. Just it's $7. I gotta buy this.
Yeah, Christmas is coming up. I know you've got family out here. Yep. Doll Man is on his wish list. You like that? I gave you a plug that time.
Thank you.
Helping you out. So yeah, I understand the full moon stuff, especially like the Puppet Master stuff, is so, like, the movies are not good, but they're just great.
Yeah.
Like, I love the characters and the monsters and everything.
They're just the perfect amount of over the top.
Yeah. Well, they tour that stuff. Have you ever been to any of the tours for that?
No, I've met some of the people that sell for them. I don't know where they're at for the production company, but I do a lot of I do comic conventions and everything, but I'm trying to get more into horror shows just because a lot of the horror shows, and they're kid friendly, depending on the price. But
how do you do at Comic Cons? Do you sell well? Because traditionally, authors have more and more authors there. Do you find success there?
Yeah, I do well. It's you gotta have a good bit of a sales pitch for it, because you don't. I do have a lot of visual things since I do the artwork, so that helps out my table display. But you got to bring people into your table and give them the whole spiel. So monsters, mad science, and a little hippie girl.
Yeah, that's all
There
you
you
said
go.
to us. And you're like, we'll take 2, please.
Yep. I'm mastering the craft of salesmanship.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know that seeing you at the con, you have a really good display, and it attracted us. We went over and talked to you. We usually talk to the authors because we love authors,
Yeah.
but yours just really got us. And, we're a family where we're big like Harry Potter fans and big Rick Riordan fans and all that. So anything that's monsters and kids and, like Monster House is one of our favorite movies.
Yeah.
At least for Martha and I. That's a so I get that.
Yeah. I'm sticking with the monsters and kids genre for the
What
most part.
about Monster Squad? You ever see that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling I was going to hit
Wolfman's got nards.
Wolfman's got nards. Yes, we all need that T-shirt.
Yeah.
I don't want the underoos though. Really gross. That's cool. Let's see. What else can we talk about with this? Because I just think this is really cool. Now, how many books are you planning in the series, or do you have that mapped out?
Roughly, there are most likely going to be 3 more books of the series.
Okay.
And I really love this breakfast doodle thing I'm doing because I get to put something out every day. So I'm going to start a couple new series through breakfast doodles. And main series wraps, I might do that as a weekly thing.
Okay.
There, just to be able to, like, it's been.
Now, wait, is that
2.5
mainly
years
going to be
between
illustrations and you're going to put them out that way, or are you looking to expand them into books?
I'm just going to write like 3 pages worth of text on Instagram. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it's an Instagram book.
Yeah.
That's great.
I don't know if anybody's doing that yet, so might as well try that out.
Yeah, great. We'll edit that out so nobody else hears it.
Yeah.
My dad. Sealing that. So
he's writing a story on Instagram.
That's right. He's on Instagram right now writing a story. I've got one about monsters and a boy. Yeah, a little hippie boy. Nothing like your story. Hashtag my original idea. Are there so that's that. Do you have any other novels in your mind? All going to be in this kind of kids world? Some
of them I am going to be folding into the breakfast doodle thing.
Okay.
This is a recent new plan, so who knows if it'll stick. But I was planning on starting 2 new novel series next year. But in order to just produce and be consistent and everything, which is important, I could put it out chunks at a time and then put out the collection in a book form.
Sure.
So,
smart way to do it.
Yeah.
So it still didn't answer the question. Are you staying in kind of the kids realm, or do you have aspirations to?
For the most part, it's all going to be kids on adventures. Not all of them won't be dealing with monsters, but might go for some older kids too, just because I've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years. So I've got audience members that are like teenagers now.
Starting to get a little older, right? You want to grow with your audience somewhat.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling did. I mean, look at the later books compared to the early ones. They get dark.
Yeah, and I would probably do separate series instead of growing up the characters too much.
Sure.
I've already set some things in place for that. With the Monsters Around the Campfire book, I have a bunch of short stories, and one of them, The Swarm, it's one of the short stories in there about a bunch of teenagers who just got their first job and everything like that. And that I was planning on breaking into its own series. So,
cool.
Yeah, the secret domain name is already registered, so I have to just sit on that for a while.
Look, my dad's over there already trying to steal it.
I'll write it first.
Yeah, right. We know
on
he's not.
Instagram.
He doesn't even have a smartphone. He's just dialing a regular phone. He's like the old kitchen phone. Boop, boop, boop. Dad, that's not working for you. I'm trying to think about this. What I want to ask. Yeah, that's what I knew there was something I needed to do. Let's go to the audience. What kind of questions do we have out here? And where's my coffee? Oh, we've got one right here. Okay. So your question is, what's it like writing a book through Amazon?
Oh, you're not going through Amazon. You're writing it for yourself. and you're setting up with Amazon for distribution. So it's
right, and they do the
businessy.
publishing and everything.
No, technically I am the publisher. They'll print it.
They'll
and
print it, but
they
you're
set
the
it up.
publisher. Right,
Yeah.
right. So it's like your own production house.
Yeah.
It doesn't say Amazon Publishing. on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I do everything for actually creating the book, like formatting it and everything like that. And then for Amazon, I pretty much upload it to their website, and they'll set it up for printing. I approve the print, and then it gets sent out to the world. And then for the Kindle versions, it's the same sort of thing. I just set it up with them, add the information for the thing like that. Then it's off to the world.
Involved in that?
No, there's no cost.
There's
involved.
no cost, because I know when we looked at it a while ago, it wasn't Amazon's deal, but there was a thing where it was that there was kind of a large upfront cost.
There are some the Monsters Around the Campfire book. I print that through CreateSpace, which is Amazon's company. But for Fear and Sunshine, I print through Lightning Source, which is another company that also does print on demand book printing. And there are upfront costs for that. It's like $80 or something.
Okay.
But it's higher quality book. So.
And then you can order books for yourself. Say, I want 30 books.
Yeah.
And now are there breaks as you get more and more? Okay.
Yep.
So it's typical resale.
Yeah.
That's really fantastic. Did that answer your question, Jenny? Yeah. Made sense? Okay. How about any other questions? Oh, we got one back there.
Did you go to art school?
Oh, did you go to art school?
No, I went to school for graphic design. I do all the art just on my own. I've always been drawing and everything, but I went to school for graphic design so I could learn how to get computers to make it shiny. So.
And this is a question that often comes up, especially with people that are writing to kids and that. Martha and Molly will usually do these interviews, and one of the questions that Molly usually has is, what was school like for you?
I was too busy doodling.
Oh, wait, see, I don't get this one right.
The question is usually, did your schooling when you were a kid foster your art, or did you use it as an escape?
Yeah,
that's a much better question than I had.
I was mostly ignoring what was happening in class so I could draw pictures in my notebook. But creative writing classes definitely helped, because that was a cool way to just write short, quick stories. Like if you're ever going to try and get into writing, write something short. Don't try to write a 7-book saga to begin with.
Right.
That's why the Prelude book is only 50 pages, is because I wanted to see if I could take something from start to finish. And
is that where you started?
Yeah. I did Prelude in I wrote them in chronological order until right now. The book I'm coming out with is in between the first two, so
okay.
I'm backpedaling a little bit, but I had a story that needed to be told.
So school didn't necessarily foster it. You just kind of ignored what was happening. Now, did you?
Yeah, there were aspects that helped out, but I was hanging out with my friends, so I guess we could count that as fostering it.
Did you have aspirations to be a writer? Did you go into it going, this is really what I'd like to do?
No, I originally wanted to get into doing movies and everything, but
directing or
I don't know,
or
directing or writing,
seeing?
Producing, just like making the whole thing happen.
AMC's hiring, you could go work there.
There we go. But one of the things
popcorn.
that got me away from the movies was that there's the Robert Rodriguez 10-minute film school.
Yeah.
He had an article out there, and the main focus of it was to work with what you have available. And I live in Wisconsin, and we don't have the Hollywood machine here. So I can draw and I can write. So I'm going to work with what's available. So I'm going to make books instead, because there's no budget for your imagination to worry about.
You just hit on a big one, actually. You and I can talk now about this.
Okay.
Because a lot of what we do, we're of the same mindset with our company. You work with what you got, and you just keep creating, and you make the best you can out of it. But one of the big inspirations, the hidden inspirations that I don't think we've ever talked about in interviews or anything, is Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He has a book which is basically his diary from when he made El Mariachi.
Yeah.
Have you read this book?
No, I haven't, but I'm looking it up after
You need to
this.
get this book, man, because he talks all about how, he went into to fund the movie, he went in as a medical experiment, and he had to sit in the hospital for like 3 months while they took chunks of flesh off of him and stuff to study. And he said, all I could do was sit there, and it forced me, I didn't have anything to do. So I wrote El Mariachi. And he also figured out, like, well, how do I make this? And he talks about, you see these crappy lights we have here?
Yep.
That's right out of his book.
Yeah.
He said he went down to the hardware store and he bought shop lights, and he put, cello wrap on it. And that was, or cello wrap, I say it wrong, on it. And that's how he made his lights for El Mariachi. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah.
You work with what you have. And in your case, it doesn't mean your dream of making movies is dead. It just means you're creating something
different format.
Yeah. Now, do you have aspirations to turn this into something? I mean, obviously it's turned into something, but
no, I just want to stick with the book series for now. And
has anyone come to you about animating or anything like that?
No, but I did make a video game based on it, and I did that myself because I have those tools available. So
really, where can we get that?
It's on iTunes and Android. It's called Zombeans. It's Zombie Beans.
Zombie Beans. All right.
Zombeans.
We can look that one up.
And it's free.
Excellent. Oh, free is even better. So did we have other questions? Look, your family has no. You do. Oh, good question. Did you find it frightening to start sharing, to start putting your stories and that out there? I'm getting the question right?
No, because I started pretty small with those little coloring book things. I was just, here, take this. I made this. Enjoy it. Look at it. Color it. And then I kind of just rolled that into doing the books too.
So you were never like nervous about, okay, I'm coming. It's like coming out to my family. I'm writing a book.
Yeah. No, I was like, here's your Christmas present. I can't afford anything right now. So, yeah, they appreciated it. So I was like, okay, well, this is a nice little cushion to fall on. So yeah, just if you can start giving away everything for free, then do that because nobody can say no. And I mean, they could, but it's like whatever.
Right.
I wasn't getting paid anyway, so no loss. So yeah, if you could just throw it out to the world without expecting anything, then when you do start expecting stuff, it's not really that much of a transition.
Your question blew something I was going to ask, which was, what piece of advice would you give? I think you just gave it. That was excellent.
Just give it all away.
Yeah, give it all away.
Start small.
Any other questions? Oh, my gosh. Like a creative block, and like if you do what you do to get over that?
I don't know if I ever get writer's block, as you'd call it. I get lazy though, and then I think I've watched 2 seasons of Deadwood in the past 3 days, and you got to sit down.
That's when you start a podcast
or
network.
the drawing table. You got to be there, and you can't expect the muse to come to you. You just have to sit there, prepare yourself to work, and
find yourself writing through it when you do that. Because I know that when I've written, I just have to write through it. I just have to write garbage until something starts to come out.
Yeah, it's the way to do it. Is just start pouring, just do a brain dump to get stuff going. Today I was working on artwork for the new Fear and Sunshine book I'm doing, and it took me like an hour to get into gear. But then once I was sitting there watching Deadwood, and I was like, I'm
sensing a theme here with Deadwood.
Pick up this pencil and draw some stupid circles, and then kept going and going. And there's a little robot, and there's a bunny, and there's movie posters, and a couple hours later, I had a picture all done. But it took a while to get there, but you got to be there for it. You can't just don't let writer's block or artist block scare you away from doing what you need to do.
Good one. Anything else? We've had so many questions tonight. I can't even believe it. Anything? Oh, nothing more. We've got an author back there. No questions, huh? you guys will meet your Comic-Con buddies. You guys will become buddies. Well, cool. Did you have anything else you wanted to share with people? You got to give your social media. We got to get rid of this.
Follow me on Instagram because I love it.
Instagram's your thing. What's your Instagram account?
It's Donovan Scherer. It's DONOVAN SCHERER.
And you're all about
every
Instagram.
morning I'm putting out artwork on there, which is gonna start rolling into new stories. And if you go to donovanscherer.com/newsletter, you can get the first book of my series for free, and the new one that's gonna be out hopefully by Halloween. I've got some drawing to do, but it'll be out soon. So yeah, those first couple of books are gonna be free on there. So,
Excellent.
just read some stuff.
All right. And how else can they reach you? A Twitter account? Or...
Facebook. It's under Studio Moonfall on Facebook.
See, they never would have guessed that. Yeah, Studio Moonfall.
The Empire.
And the Empire. And what is your Twitter? Or do you not
Donovan
use
Scherer, but
not really your thing?
yeah, just don't bother with. I mean, you can follow me on Twitter, or
Instagram.
you can contact
follow him
me
on Instagram.
There.
That's what he's
go
really
to
saying.
Instagram. It's better. You get pictures.
Somebody likes pictures.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's it, Donovan. Thank you so much. He does have books up here available if you'd like to pick some up. Support indie writers and artists, and that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Blue Box. Thank you, interview. One minute.